Hello, it is Megan. It is hopefully the beginning of a slightly longer than a week weekly reading vlog. It is Friday the 1st of September. This vlog will be continuing to like a week on Sunday, and I will hopefully be weekly vlogging in September. But I didn't want to start a vlog at the end of August when I wasn't reading anything I was excited about. Instead, I thought I'd just do it in September. It's going to be a chill day. I'm working from home today. I'm about to go edit my TBR. I will continue to listen to an audiobook, which is The Gods Born and the Queen. Oh, I don't know. It's not the Queen. It was like The Dragon and the Queen. It was the third book. It's the fourth book in the Raven and the Dove series by Caitlin something. And I will tell you more about it later when I've figured out the details. But it's the fourth book in a Tristan and Isolde fantasy romance retelling. And it's not very good, but I'm really invested. So do with that what you will. I am going to edit my TBR now, eat some lunch and film later today I think, and then this evening is going to be, hopefully I'll have finished my audiobook so I'll feel like I don't need to pick up anything else to read, but I will be picking up my knitting and finishing the Samurai Temperate season 2, and hopefully tomorrow I'll have a very productive reading day. But today I think this is about all you're going to get, and that is me done with work for the week. Fantastic. Where did I just put my phone? Right, because I was going to tell you more details about the book that I've been reading today and just put my phone down somewhere where I could not then tell you about those things. But yeah, what have I done? I finished work. I bought my mom's birthday present that is on its way to me. The book I have been reading is The God Born and the King by Caitlin Davis, which is the fourth book in the Tristan and Isolde retelling, which I did tell you about. I have 2 hours and 20 minutes left, so I didn't listen to all of it at work, which I very much could have done, but I, edited my TBR and made the thumbnail and did things I maybe should not have been doing whilst working. But I will link my TBR down below. This book is not on my TBR because, like I said, my TBR was just things I'm excited about, and this I just need it to be finished so I know what happens. Yeah, things are going well. I was going to film this evening, but I've just realised I have the house to myself tomorrow evening, so I may as well film then when there is no one around, and it gives me more time to think about what exactly I want to film, how many things I want to film, all of that. So I'm going to go downstairs, I'm going to get myself a drink, and I'm going to prepare for my evening of watching the Samurai Temperate season 2 and knitting. Hi, I have no idea if this is recording because the viewfinder is all. Anyway, I've just finished the Samurai Temperate season 2. I have thoughts, and I'm not sure if this is the right place to share them because I've obviously not spoken about season 1 on the channel ever. I did not like the books, and by books plural I mean I definitely read the first one. I don't know if I read any more than the first one. I think I might have read part of the second one, and I wasn't having a good time. The show, however, it tickles my brain in a way that I'm not sure I can explain. But the audacity of this show, the audacity of people on the internet to not be Team Conrad, people are calling this boy toxic. My man did nothing wrong. Okay, maybe not nothing. He had a few moments this episode where I was like, you deserve this pettiness, but it is petty. But yeah, it was wild. But yeah, I had a great time. I don't regret the time I spent watching the show. However, I will regret the amount of time I'm gonna spend thinking about it until season 3. Season 3 better fucking follow the book, at least in some respect. I'm not out here rooting for Jeremiah, it's never gonna be me. He looks so happy. Cara looks so happy coming out of his exam, and to just Anyway, you're not here for the Samurai Temperate season 2 spoilers. I'm going to put my audiobook on to go to sleep with. I need to finish 2 rows of my border because I was 11 rows into the actual pattern, so 15 rows into the practice table stitch itself, and I messed up and I got too frustrated, and instead of being able to rip back a row and put the rest back on my needles, I just frogged the whole thing. So I'm going to finish the border, I'm going to go to sleep, and hopefully tomorrow I have a productive reading day. But yeah, I just thought I would vomit some of my feelings on the Samurai Temperate season 2. Oh, but one more thing, Stephen and Taylor were a highlight that I did not expect, as was Laurel's storyline, her being super sad about Susanna and making friends that weren't Susanna. Loved it. Aunt Julia, not being a villain by the end, and the dad. There was a lot going on this season. And the audacity of having a Taylor Swift song play over Jeremiah and Belly. Not acceptable. Taylor is for Conrad Belly only. I don't know who got confused there. Also, to have Bigger Than the Whole Sky on the soundtrack. Offensive. Truly offensive. Not okay. But yeah, that's about me done for the day. I don't remember if that was a knit or a purl stitch, so I need to stop talking while I knit and just focus on it. And I will talk to you tomorrow when I might have to say all of this all over again, because I can't imagine it's coherent or interesting or like well lit. So rip for that. Good night. Hello. I was about to say good morning. It's very much not morning. It is afternoon. It's 4 o'clock. My super productive day of swapping, washing and tidying my room and filming hasn't happened. I just woke up feeling kind of meh this morning. Not like ill, just like meh. So I just lay in bed and read fanfiction for like multiple hours, and then bought a ticket to go watch Oklahoma because it closes today in the West End and I really love the production. So I've eaten some food. I have like an hour before I need to leave because there's a train strike today, so I don't think many trains are running, so I have to get the tube rather than the train into central London, which just takes longer and is hotter. And it's generally not my preference. So yeah, I'm gonna have like 20 minutes of continuing to read my shitty fanfiction, and then I will get ready to go and hopefully have a good time at Oklahoma and have a productive day tomorrow. But we'll see if that happens. I've not read anything actually that I don't Goodreads today so far. Hopefully I will finish The Godborn and the King. I keep forgetting what it's called. Hopefully I'll finish that today and pick up something from my TBR tomorrow, and I will tell you about it tomorrow. I doubt there will be an update later today. Hello. It has been a hot second since I've spoken to you. I think the last time I spoke to you, it was to incoherently ramble about the Summer I Turned Pretty season 2. Did I talk to you at all yesterday? I don't know. Well, I wasn't productive yesterday. I went to the theatre to watch Oklahoma's closing night. Had a fantastic time. Such a good show. I'm gonna miss being able to just get a rush ticket for it as and when I feel like going. But it was very good. And it's now 5:38 on Sunday. And I've been like slightly productive today. I've been knitting and I finished my audiobook. Last night I also finished an arc that like I haven't mentioned I was reading at all. So let me make sure I have my authors' names down, because I absolutely don't have authors' names down at the moment. So today I finished listening to the audiobook of The Godborn and the King by Caitlin Davis. I'm giving it 3 stars. The entire series was 3 stars. It was fine. It did nothing special, but like I was invested in it because I am a romance girly, and if you tell me something is Tristan and Isolde, I'm going to be rooting for it. Just like I watched that film with James Franco and Sophia Myles and was like, yeah, I too would give it all for Sophia Myles. So I was like, sure, why not? So yeah, finished that, 3 stars. It was fine. A bit frustrating that it ended on this moment where like you can tell it's a setup for like something else, and I'm like, I'm certainly not reading anything else. Like 4 books is enough, thank you. So yeah, I'm glad that is done. And then I finished another book that was not on my TBR, but I started it last month and then forgot that I'd started it. It's White is Witching by Catherine Buell. I don't know. This is the cover. And yeah, it's a Snow White Rose Red retelling where the evil aunt of Snow White kills her father, takes over the country, and, you know, starts working with the demon, and there's like all this magic going on. And it was good. It was going to be a 4-star. I was enjoying it. And then something happened at the end that irritated me to no end. And I recommend that you read Disfigured by Amanda Leduc, however, this book, if you want to have a nuanced understanding of disability in fairy tales. But other than that, it was good, and I was invested in the romance, and it was sweet, but the writing was a bit clunky in places. Yeah, but it was definitely like a good standalone fantasy novel. Like I didn't like have a bad time. It does look like the author has a lot of other published things. I'm not sure if they were like self-published, but it read like a debut, so I don't really know what that says about the author. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It would have been a 4, like I said, if this one thing hadn't happened, which I'm not going to tell you what it is because that's a spoiler. But yeah, I do recommend it as a standalone fairy tale retelling. That's about it. I will show you what my knitting looks like. I don't know what I'm going to read next. I have 2 audiobooks that I could pick from the library. I have Song of Silver, Flame Like Night by Amelie Wenzel, and I have City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. And Song of Silver, Flame Like Night is due earlier, so I might pick up that audiobook and carry on knitting. I might watch some TV and carry on knitting. I don't know, but I do know that I need to eat and I need to wash my hair ready for work tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. But I'm quite pleased with the way my knitting is going, so that's something after how frustrating it was the other day to have to rip it all apart and start again. So there is that. Hi, happy Monday. It is 6 o'clock now. I finished work, I filmed 2 videos, I worked from home today so it was pretty chill. I'm gonna go make some dinner and continue with my knitting. So the pattern that I've been following, I've completed 1 round of it now, so it looks like it's looking pretty good. It looks like this. This is like 1 completed round. I think I'm gonna do a second one and then cast off after doing the border and then start my next crafty project, which is either going to be a crochet giraffe or a crochet blanket. It's like, love that I've developed my knitting skills and then we'll immediately be doing crochet, but I don't have the wool needed to start my Taylor Swift cardigan, so that was just to prove to myself I could do it and it is worth buying the wool. And I will wait until like payday to drop a chunk of money on wool for a cardigan. So yeah, I am sort of tired now. Like, I only filmed 2 videos, it didn't take that long, but like my brain is just, it's done with words. So I started Song of Silver Flame Like Night yesterday. I'm 24% of the way through it. We've been introduced to Lan, she works at like a tea house. She has a brand on her wrist, she doesn't know what it means, and then the person that she's going to for help to find out what it means ends up being killed, and someone who has been liaising with him for information comes to find Lan to find out what's going on, who she is, what the drama is. And that's about all I've read so far. I'm going to continue today. I'm going to, like I say, knit this second pattern, repeat, listen to the audiobook, hopefully get a good chunk of the way through it. I might have a sneaky gin. Hopefully at some point edit the 2 videos that I've just filmed, along with bits and pieces of this vlog, but I think that's going to be more of a tomorrow Wednesday kind of deal. I just don't want to do it tonight. So yeah, I will check in with you later. Hi, happy Wednesday, I want to say. Didn't check in with you on Tuesday, but I finished 2 books on Tuesday, so did I finish? Yeah, and a whole book today. It's been a productive time. So since I checked in with you on Monday, I finished Song of Silver Flame Like Night. I've not yet put the dust jacket back on because this is the first time I've thought about putting it back on my shelf, but yeah, I'm giving it 3 stars. I thought it was fine. Like, it was just so average. The characters were, you know, irritating but understandable. Plot was predictable, but like, the mythology was interesting, but having an interesting mythology cannot say, like, there was nothing wrong with it, but there was nothing exciting about it either. And that feels really harsh, but it's what I thought. So 3 stars. I then read Gleam or Glint by Riven Kennedy, the second book in the Plated Prisoner series. That's a 2-star. I gave it a chance after reading Gild, which is a like King Midas, like fantasy romance retelling where there's a gold touch girl who is a saddle, which basically means acceptable whore to the king. And yeah, she is gold touched by King Midas, so she's kept in this like fancy cage, no one interacts with her, it's all very, you know, fantasy romance. And then she gets kidnapped by pirates, like land pirates, as she's off to go to the king while he does things with another kingdom. And it was a lot of setup in the first book, and I was like, well, I didn't like the first book, but maybe the second book will be better. And honestly, I just don't think the writing was very good. I wasn't interested in the new romance that was being set up. I guess I was kind of interested in the new romance that was being set up, but like, Orion was just really irritating and all of her internal dialogue was really dull. And yeah, I don't think I'm going to continue with book 3. I'm glad that I didn't pay money for book 2. I got it from the library, and yeah, did not like it. I'm gonna try and find other fantasy romance that I'm interested in, because that was not it. And then today I listened to the entirety of The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Lippensella, which I have read before, but I unhauled my copy. And by that I mean my brother took it because it was pretty and he wanted to fill some space on his bookshelves, and I just had like an urge to reread it the other week, so I put a hold on the audio at the library. And it was one that, since I've read it before but couldn't really remember everything, that I didn't mind having it on while I was working. And yeah, 3 stars again. It's fine. Everything moved so quick. I thought everything was like a bit more developed at the end. Like, I thought in my memory it was more fleshed out, which was not the case in actuality, so rip to that. But yeah, this evening I'm hopefully gonna find the fancy little doodah I've got that will let me put my memory card into my laptop so I can edit some YouTube videos, and also the beginnings of this vlog so I can see how boring it is so far. And then I will be reading The City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky, which I still don't know what that's about. It's about a city on the brink of something. There were no characters mentioned in the synopsis, so as soon as I've started it, I will let you know what is going on. But yeah, I have the audio for that from the library and an e-arc of it from NetGalley, so I'm going to sit down and read both. I'm going to get my Kindle and my headphones and go from there. But right now I'm going to put on some Taylor Swift. I've been jamming out to Speak Now Taylor's version, and I'm going to tidy up my room a little bit after work and go get some food, and then hopefully find my little doodah thing and catch up with you later. Friday. I didn't update you yesterday. I don't know why, but it is now 9 a.m. on Friday. I don't have to work today. It's wild that I'm up at 9, but like I woke up at normal get up for work time and I don't have to go to work. So I've been reading in bed for a little bit. Nothing that I told you I was reading, and I've started something new since I last updated you. So quick catch up. City of Last Chances, I still don't know what it's about. We've met a couple of people. We've met Yannick, who is the last surviving priest of a god. No one can see this god. This god is irritating and like just lives in his room. It's interesting. We've met, oh, I don't know what his name was, but he died immediately, and I've not really got any further than that. The city has been taken over by these people who like order and logic and rigidity, and they've changed like the calendar from a 12-day cycle to a 7-day cycle, and a lot of other changes have been made in regards to like the religion and stuff, and it's just all very confusing at the moment. I'm only 5% in. I haven't continued because I feel like I need to audio and read it, and I have very little time to do so, but we'll see how tomorrow goes. I started The Book Eaters whilst at work yesterday on audio because I'd already read the first bit of it, so I could re-listen to it and just sort of refresh myself. So I'm 20% into that, which is about Devon, who is a book eater, so they consume like food by eating books, and they sort of consume knowledge that way as well. She has a son who is a mind eater who needs to eat brains in order to survive, and there is a drug that can help people consume books instead, but the family who create that have sort of had this big implosion, and so she needs to find the family who make this drug so that her son can live like a normal life. And that's all I've pretty much got of that so far. I'm enjoying them both. I read an entire book yesterday called Come As You Are. Don't know who it's by, I'll pop the cover here, which was like not second chance, because it's not like a second chance between the cover, but it's like an older romance between like two people who work on like a ski mountain. It was cute. I gave it 3 stars, maybe 3.5. The ending was just horrifically fast. It just really zoomed through. And now I'm reading a book called Morbidly Yours, which is about a woman who moves from America for a job in Galway and moves next door to a funeral home, and her neighbour is a cute like multician. So yeah, I'm gonna continue reading that this morning. Gonna go make myself some tea. Hello. I apologise for the external sounds, but it's too warm for me to close the window. I was interrupted earlier by my camera dying, and apparently all of the batteries that I have for it are dead. So phone update is, I was interrupted saying I am going to Moulin Rouge this evening. Me and Chloe have fancy can seats. We've been excited for it for months, and we're going to brunch first, so I'm ready in my brunch outfit. I imagine I will be getting changed into a nicer dress for can seats, but it's really warm today, so I thought I'd mix up the outfits throughout the day. I've read a good like 50-something% of Morbidly Yours, and I'm having a really good time. I really like it, like genuinely really like it. I think it might get a high rating like it rather than just I'm having a good time. So yeah, I'm gonna go downstairs and hydrate and hopefully cool down enough that I can leave the house to go to brunch in like an hour. But I wanted to get ready early so I could carry on reading my book. So yeah, that's about it. Brunch, can seats. Tomorrow I have Next to Normal, and I'm hoping to also read and maybe like edit a video, because I have 2.5 filmed, this vlog being the half that I could be editing. So it's not happening today, but maybe tomorrow morning. And yeah, I will check in when I either have more thoughts on my book, or there will be b-roll of the rest of my day into the evening, and we'll talk tomorrow. Good afternoon. It is Saturday. It is like nearly 2 o'clock. I've been up for a while, and then I was really tired. And I've just been laying in my bed. I finished a book, and then I watched a lot of clips from rom-coms on YouTube. So I think I'm going to go downstairs and put on a rom-com while I continue to read. But last night, fantastic. Brunch was great. Had a good time. And then the can seats from Moulin Rouge, incredible. No notes. Like, had a fantastic time. Due Moscato, incredible as always. And it was really warm, so I just sort of didn't have any brain power when I got back to the house to just sort of crash. If you want like more update and succinct thoughts, Chloe is also vlogging, so check out that vlog. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab a fan, grab some water, and read City of Last Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I still don't know any more of what that is about, other than there is the guy with the god. And I think there's a card game about to happen in a pub by a wood, and if you go into the wood, monsters can get you, and it leads to like other places. It was very weird. Don't know what's going on there. I finished Morbidly Yours, which I'm giving 4 stars. It was really good. The ending was like a bit rushed, as happens in a lot of romances, but it was really sweet, and the characters were like really like heartwarming and just wholesome, and I had a good time. It was good. I enjoyed it. So I will probably tell you more about that later. I feel like I didn't really give you much information about the specifics of the romance, but like there was some fun marriage contract things going on, and yeah, it was a good time. But I'm very warm. I put on moisturiser because my skin was feeling dry, but it's hot, so like I'm just feeling very glistening now. So reading, hydration, rom-com, and then later I'm at the theatre, so I'll have to put myself together a little bit more, but that can happen in like 3 hours rather than right now. And yeah, I'll check in with you later. Hello. It is late. Yeah, much later than the last time I spoke to you. We've just got back from Next to Normal. I, if you can tell, cried. Fantastic show. I read some of a book I've not told you a single thing about because I wasn't going to read. And then our journey was less sit on a train, pop on the tube for a few minutes. It was trains aren't running from your station, get a tube for a long time. So we couldn't hear each other talking as we were commuting. So I started a Kindle Unlimited Fantasy Romance. At least I hope it's romance. Right now it's just fantasy, but like if there's no romance involved, it's I think cozy fantasy. So I think I should probably not expect that much romance because I've been let down on that front multiple times. But it's about a half-orc who was not kidnapped, but like kept captive by a conquering emperor after her entire race of people were killed, and she gets sent out to go find dragons. So she gets sent out on this mission to find these fabled islands to find dragons, and gets caught in a shipwreck, lands on an island, an elf finds her and is like, oh, you're the bitch half-orc who goes around hunting dragons, we don't want you here, but you can't leave for the next 6 weeks because there's a massive storm, so I guess we're stuck working together until you can leave, and things will develop from there. So yeah, I've read 20% of that. I have no thoughts really. It's fine. And I really need to start my actual TBR. Because like I'm not having much luck on that front. So what's the plan for tomorrow? I've not read any more of City of Last Chances. I'm thinking it'll be pretty easy to re-reserve it at the library though, because no one wants to read it. I wonder why. And I'm going to start Chain of Iron tomorrow by Cassandra Clare, because that is on my TBR and there's a live show on Wednesday. So yeah, I think that's my update for now. I'm hoping that I will tell you more about how good Next to Normal was tomorrow, but I'm tired and I want to actually use this fan because it's warm, and I have a snack and a drink over in that direction, so I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
I feel like you should explain that the random noises in the background were me being here.
Oh, well, I mean, you know Chloe lives here. Like, who else was it going to be?
I just realised I said random words.
Yeah, I think we're pretty used to that by now.
Okay.
Good afternoon. It is 3 o'clock on Sunday. It is the final day of the vlog. What will I accomplish? I've been on sprints with Becca today and I've edited and uploaded video. I'm continuing to edit videos. Hopefully
You've got this.
they will, go well and not just keep freezing on me as I'm doing it. It's super fun. I've put some washing on. I need to go empty the dishwasher. I need to go buy some milk. I need to make some food for lunches for work. And I need to start Chain of Iron. I did start, I think I told you yesterday, Forged by Magic? Forged by Fire? What's it called? Forged by Magic. I read another like 10-15% whilst I was waking up this morning. So I'm on chapter 15 of that and it's fine. It's starting to get a bit flirty. Yeah, it's truly just fine. I'm not super excited to go back to it, but it was also very mindless while I was still very, very tired this morning. So yeah, there is hope that the next sort of 4 or 5 hours I can be super productive because I don't feel like it. I have started my audiobook of Chain of Iron. Go me. How much have I read? I'm on chapter 13. I have about 6 hours left on 3 times speed. It's not telling me how much I've actually read, because that's really helpful. I read about 5 hours, so that's not too bad for just making food and emptying the dishwasher and like scrolling on Instagram for a bit. Yeah, I like this book. I don't know if this is a surprise to anybody. It's a reread. It's 5 stars. Like, having a good time. I forget how much like domestic James Cordelia there is at the beginning of this book, and it's so good. I'm having a great time. Chloe is also in here and having a great time reading her book.
I am reading Happy Place by Emily Henry, and Meg gets to feel smug because it's another recommendation of hers I'm enjoying.
Because Emily Henry, top tier.
I have no more left after this one.
No, we are both going to be waiting for a Funny Story.
But it sounds great.
Funny Story does sound great. Everyone needs to check out Emily Henry. And I'm going to go back to reading my ebook of Forged by Magic, because I want to finish that before the weekend is up. And I'm not finishing Chain of Iron before the weekend is up, which is fine because I have until Wednesday to finish reading it. It's a reread and I'm going to be able to listen to the audiobook at work. So yeah, I've made my lunch for work tomorrow. I was going to change my bedding and start washing about with my bedding, but like that's not happening. It's too warm for that. So that will be a later in the week task. I'm going to read now and hopefully finish this book before I go to bed. It is, I don't know, it is 20 to 10. I finished my book. Chloe finished her book. I gave mine 4 stars. Chloe gave hers 5 stars. Excellent. It's the correct rating for an Emily Henry book. What did I think of mine? It was good. So it was cozy fantasy, but it was also romantic and steamy, which was good. There were moments that I was real angry.
I just kept hearing her like getting very frustrated with the book. We were sat with, like, I'm sat on a chair here, she's sat on the sofa here. I'm getting towards the end of my book, it's all like getting happy and cute. Not for this one.
No, we had some tension, we had some betrayal, some imprisonment almost. We had things not going well. So
a lot of anger from Meg's part.
Yeah, well there were people who were getting in the way and sabotaging, and then everyone was communicating poorly, and it irritated me. But I did like it. But what I don't like is that there is no way I could forgive a person for thinking that I would do the things. Main character, love interest, right? The love interest very much thinks that the main character like ruined everything and has been spying and like doing all this nonsense, and then it's like, y'all need to be arrested now. Doesn't stick up for her at all. And I'm like, well, that's not okay, is it? That's not something you do with someone you're in a relationship with. You got to at least have a conversation. And I'm like, I don't know how you come back from that without having, you know, a more heartfelt apology. But it's fine. It was cute in the end, I suppose. So that's that. I'm going to get pyjamaed, go to bed and call it on this vlog. Hopefully I'll wrap it up like tomorrow evening once I've looked back at the last week and a half and figured out what I have read and not told you enough information about. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hello and welcome to the end of the vlog. A day or two later. I went to end this vlog the day after and the camera battery died, and then things just kept happening, you know, but it's fine. We're ending it. This vlog is going up today and I have things to say because I did not tell you enough about everything in the vlog. So I did a lot in the vlog in terms of life stuff. I went to Oklahoma, the closing night of Oklahoma. That was very good. I love that show so much. I'm so sad it's closed. Me and Chloe did brunch and can seats for Moulin Rouge, which was fantastic. It was a great experience. We went to watch Next to Normal, which is a phenomenal show, and I'm so sad I have no more tickets booked for it, and all the tickets are coming up like daily. As returns and things are expensive, but it's such a good show. I taught myself how to cable knit. I didn't finish the second repeat of the pattern, but I taught myself how to cable knit, and I finished the Sunrise Home Pretty season 2, which I had thoughts about. And I have no idea when season 3 is coming out, but I'm ready. And then I finished 8 books in this vlog, and I started 3 more. So I'm going to tell you about the 8 books I read, and the 3 that I started I will tell you, I will remind you what they were, but I won't tell you anything else about them because I will be finishing them in next week's vlog, so look out for that one. So the first finished book I have is The Godborn and the King by Caitlin Davis. This is the 4th book in the Raven and the Dove series, which is a fantasy romance Tristan and Isolde retelling, which is sort of a trope or a story that I'm a sucker for. Tristan and Isolde. So this was 3 stars. I'm glad that it is over. I'm glad that I binged the series as it was all out and didn't have to wait, because I don't think I would have finished it, and I'm glad to know how it ends. But yeah, 3-star series, that's about it. The next thing I read was White is Witching by Catherine Buell, which is a standalone fantasy retelling of Snow White and Rose Red about Snow White, whose aunt kills her father, takes over the kingdom, and Snow White runs away and hides in a village. She is maimed in order to protect herself, and then a selection happens every year in which girls are chosen to be taken to the palace, and Snow is chosen one year and goes to the palace in hopes for revenge. I gave this one 3 stars. It would have been 4 because I did enjoy the romance, I enjoyed the world building, but I did not love a certain choice that was made involving the disfigurement of Snow White, and there were definitely a few reviews on Goodreads that talked about that, so if you're interested, go look those up. Next, I read Song of Silver Flame Like Night by Emily Wen Zhao, which is a YA fantasy inspired by ancient Chinese mythology and folklore, following, is it Lan? Lan, who works in a tea shop. She has a brand on her wrist that she wants to find out more about, and in the process of trying to find out more about that, she meets Zen, who's a magician, and a lot of things happen as they first meet that lead to them escaping together and working together to find out more about this brand. I gave it 3 stars. I did think the world building was interesting, but I thought the writing was just fine. The characters were irritating, and it wasn't my favourite thing, unfortunately, but it was fine. It's just I don't think I'll be continuing with the series. Next we have Glint by Raven Kennedy, which is the second book in the Plated Prisoner series, which is a fantasy romance King Midas retelling following Orin, who is the favoured gold touch saddle of the king, which basically means his favourite mistress. No one else is allowed to touch her. She lives in isolation, she's caged, and Midas then goes to a different kingdom to do some kingly nonsense, requests that Orin goes with him, and she's kidnapped by like pirates, and then whilst being kidnapped by pirates they are then attacked by a different army, and she's kidnapped by the rival army, and this book sort of goes on from there, and it's just, the writing was not good. Orin's internal monologue was like so irritating. It was just, I didn't have a good time, and it's a fantasy romance and I'm not rooting for like any romance in it. Like none of them have been like set up well. I'm not invested in them, so that's a shame, and I will absolutely not be continuing with, I think Gleam is the 3rd book in that series. Then I reread The Shadows Between Us by Tricia Levenseller, which is a YA fantasy romance about a woman, is it Alessandra? About a woman who plans to woo the king, seduce him, marry him, and then kill him and take over the kingdom, but someone else is also trying to kill the king, so she needs to stop that happening before she can kill him herself and benefit from that, and in keeping him alive perhaps they become closer. The first time I read this it was 3 stars, this time it was also 3 stars. I think it's easy to read, it's pretty fast paced, the characters are easy enough to follow. It just it ends so abruptly. I swear I looked, there was like 10 minutes left of the audiobook and I was like, maybe the audiobook cuts off soon, like maybe there's a damaged copy of it at the library, but no, it just, everything happened so quickly at the end. But it, like I said, it's fun, it's a good time. I didn't dislike it. And then I read Come As You Are by Jess K. Hardy. It's an adult romance following a struggling ski resort owner and an ex-rock star former addict who runs a sort of charity housing group to support adults to also remain sober once they've been released from prison. They're going to be helping out on the ski resort because they are slightly cheaper labour, which makes it sound like really dodgy, as if the owner of the ski resort went to them specifically and was like, I will only pay you so much money because of this. It made sense in context, and I give this one 3 stars. It was nice to see a romance between like older people, like adults who have like been through the ringer and like dealing with serious issues like addiction and substance abuse and sobriety, but this one also had a very rushed ending, and I feel like some of the relationships were not explored as fully as I wanted them to be. Like there was a mother-daughter relationship that like I just did not get the emotional sort of catharsis out of that I wanted to, but it was sweet. And I will probably continue with the Bluebird Basin series. Then next we have Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks, which I really enjoyed. This is a adult contemporary romance about a woman, Lark, who has been recently widowed, and she accepts a job in Galway to be like an artistic director for an animation studio. She moves in next door to a funeral home and befriends Callum, the sort of grumpy, socially awkward undertaker there, and there is a clause in his grandfather's will that means if he's not married by the time he's 35, the business of the undertaking funeral home will go to Callum's father, who's been estranged for many years. So as Lark and Callum develop a friendship, Lark is like, okay, so I will help you find someone to marry by the time you turn 35 in like 9 months time, and perhaps the sparks start flying, and they're each dealing with like their own issues, and it was really sweet. It was a really nice romance, and it was fun to have like an animation sort of side plot. Like her work struggles were just as interesting to read about as his like work drama it was a good time and I really like it, and I'm very much keeping my eye on Ivy Fairbanks going forwards. And then the final book I completed was Forged by Magic, which is by Jenna Wolfhart, which is a cozy fantasy romance, and like emphasis on the romance. It was so refreshing to read a cozy fantasy that delivered on the romance. So this follows Diella, who is a half orc who is being kept captive by a cruel conquering emperor. She is sent to find dragons and their magic in these fabled islands. While searching, she is involved in a shipwreck, washes up on this beach, and Rivellin, the grumpy heart blacksmith elf, finds her and says, oh well, you're stuck here for the next 6 weeks, and offers her a place to stay so that he can keep an eye on her, because he doesn't want any harm to come to the island from the emperor, but also because he's just, you know, like a nice person, like deep down. And then as they stay together, like sparks fly, and it was like steamy. The chemistry was like believable. I was rooting for them. As you saw in the vlog, I did have some issues with the way the romance played out at the end. Like I wish there'd been like a bit more groveling. It felt like she forgave him far too easy at the end there, but it was a good time and I really liked it. So like 4 stars for that as well. And then very briefly, I started The Book Eaters by Sunny Dean, City of Lost Chances by Adrian Tchaikovsky, and Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, which I will talk about in more depth in next week's vlog, because spoiler alert, I may finish them in next week's vlog. But yeah, that's it for this one. It was quite a long one, I know. I'm gonna wrap this up. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite things you've read so far in September are. Like and subscribe if you want to. Follow me on other social medias, linked down below if you want to. And I'll see you in another video soon, hopefully. Bye.